Hi, Stephanie Stevenson here, otherwise known as watercolor artiste in social media circles. And I am the artist of MidLifeArtist.com. And you have come to my weekly live stream every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. And this is my weekly live stream to keep myself accountable, to keep me painting. When there might be a busy week and I haven't touched artwork all week, at least I know that on Wednesday nights I will be doing something artistic. Of course, that hasn't been too much of an issue these past few months, and I don't foresee it being an issue going forward. I've got a lot going on. I've got a lot of things waiting in the wings to get created. So I'm going to be pretty busy. And so Wednesday nights I won't be short of content to share. So yeah, welcome to my live stream. And if you're new here, I'm a midlife artist trying to do the midlife artist thing, doing the gig, trying to make something of the talent that God gave me. And it's slow going, but I will keep pushing on. So anyway, I am currently going to be working on my painting that I've been avoiding for a couple weeks now, in lieu of other things and other life events happening. But it's time to get this painting done tonight, or at least pushed past the areas of apprehension that I have. So you're joining me tonight on this adventure, or maybe it's not so adventurous. I don't know. But in any case, I'm going to give it a go tonight. I'm going to go ahead and share some news and events. If you were with me last week, then you know I was sharing about our stray cat that wandered into our yard, not this weekend that just passed, but the weekend prior. Hi, author Lisa Stevenson in the chat, Rumble chat. Welcome. Good to see you. But yeah, we have the stray cat. We've named her Stella. She's a female orange cat, orange tabby or orange short hair, I guess, whatever you would like to call her. She was nothing but skin and bones. We feel like if we hadn't had seen her when we did, she probably wouldn't have made it beyond another day or so. So she managed to get to our yard, and so we are taking care of her. If you remember last week, if you were here, I shared some pictures of her initially. This is her more recently. She's looking healthier. On the right is my nephew Xander petting her. She loves to have her belly petted, which is unusual for cats. They don't particularly like to have their bellies attended to in that regard, but she always rolls over for a good belly rub. And she, of course, on the left is enjoying some sit-down time in my lap on the porch there, looking pretty comfortable. So for a stray, she's fallen in line to enjoying herself on that back porch. So she's doing good. She's got one more day of antibiotics, and then she goes back on June 29th, excuse me, for a follow-up appointment with the vet, in which we hope then she can be given a spay, so that we don't have to worry about her having kittens anytime soon. We'd like to get her adopted out. And again, I'm hoping that the Humane Society of Northwest Georgia will help us out in that regard by being the ones to vet potential adopters. We will, of course, foster her as we already are, and then have her ready to go when someone decides that they want her. I'm hoping somebody will take her because we can't keep her. But she's a sweetheart. So that's Stella, and she's doing good. I'll probably have another update about her next time. So if you're a cat lover, tune in for sure. And then there is an art show going on at the Harris Arts Center in Calhoun, Georgia. It started on Monday and it goes through July 31st. And both myself and Ron have artwork in the show. So if you're in the area, Admission to the art show is free, so you can stop in during their hours of operation and walk through the art show, as well as the fact that they will have an artist reception on June 28th from 3 to 4:30. It's a Sunday afternoon. And Ron and I do plan on being in attendance at that artist reception. So if you're in the area and you want to meet us, come on out and say hello and see the artwork on display. It's pretty fantastic stuff for the area. So that was the announcement. I still plan on applying for the Creative Arts Guild in Dalton, Georgia. They have Arts Fest in September. Their due date for application is July 31st. So I've got some time, but I do want to go ahead and get applied for that, for both the exhibition at Arts Fest as well as to have a tent there that weekend, the opening weekend. So lots happening coming up. And then, of course, with good weather and nothing else going on, I will attempt to be at the farmers market on Saturday mornings in Dalton, Georgia. So if you're looking to get a print and you don't want to have to pay for shipping, come on over to the Dalton Farmers Market. I will try to announce when I'll be there on my website. So stay tuned at MidLifeArtist.com. So, okay, so there's that. Let me go to Palette Cam. It'll come up here in just a second. I'm going to talk about the colors I have here. Come on, Palette Cam. Please tell me you're working. Hold on, it is not, of course. I want Palette Cam. What happened to my Palette Cam? Well, bear with me. I'll put my camcorder on so you can see the painting I'll be working on. So that is my painting of my grandson. And I gotta find but I don't know what happened. Thankfully, it looks like it's gonna work here. Palette Cam. There it goes. All right, there we go. Palette Cam. Sometimes things happen on my little old phone, my old mobile phone. And despite all my best efforts to get things ready, things happen on the phone that says, oh, well, let's supersede what you're planning on doing. And it's like, no, let's not. Let's say we did. Okay, so let's see here. All right, if you guys can see that, I'm going to check in here. All right. So what I have is I have yellow ochre. I got lemon yellow. I got titanium white. I've got, what's this one? Ground white. I have burnt sienna and then trans red oxide. And so that is going to be my palette, at least to start. All right. All right, so now you can see the painting and what's happened. And this is a mixed media collage because it starts off with an abstract background. And then I did collage papers of Bible verses related to the blessings that children and grandkids are. So those are on there. And then I painted my grandson in with a color story of yellows and blues with a burnt sienna kind of color. And then, of course, the bottom has been what's been making me apprehensive. And there's something on this side that just doesn't sit well with me. I like the dark because it brings him forward, but I think I'm going to use more of the yellow that's over here and incorporate it over here because this just seems out of place. I've been bothered by it, and I think it's the yellow. So we're going to do that. I'm going to incorporate some more of this red, and I'm going to do some more of this kind of coral or terracotta coloring as well to make it more harmonious. So that is my plan. So I'm going to, hold on, here we go. Trying to make sure that the palette cam is showing up. I got to get a coral kind of color going. I'm going to try the trans red oxide here. A little bit of this yellow. And then I'm going to do, let's see what this gives me. This might not be, oh, this might be what I need. I might add a little bit of a more of a red to this, but I want to get some tonal values. Welcome to the chat, Crazy Bear. I'd say you're late, but you're right on time. I was explaining to the audience, those that are joining us and those that are lurking, that we are going to be exhibiting some artwork at the Harris Arts Center, currently on display down in Calhoun, Georgia, both you and myself. I've got 3 works. Ron's got 1. He was going to have 2, but the second one wasn't dry, and you can't have a wet painting that, just wasn't ready to go. So maybe next time for that one. Let's see here. I think I'm going to take some of this and darken it up. And I'm going to take some of this and lighten it up. And then that's going to be my medium. Let's see here. So yeah, I'm going to get some more of this warm, fleshy terracotta color going. I'm going to make it more harmonious here. And then I'm also going to, I think this yellow is off-putting compared to this side. So I'm going to get that in the right direction. And so yeah, I've got some light terracotta, medium terracotta, and then I need to get a dark terracotta. And I think that'll help get some harmony to this. I really like how he's turning out. It's the background that's been bothering me. And of course the bottom here has been bothering me as well. So we're gonna see if we can't fix it by touching areas that I had pretty much thought they were all set. And then I looked at it today and I thought, well, I'm going to take a risk, and I'm going to try to mess with the background a little bit, because I think the background can be messed with. I don't really want to mess with my grandson's image on here. I think he's looking pretty good, looking pretty happy. The main squeeze that he is. My main squeeze, what I like to call him, my main squeeze. Let's see, I'm trying to get a darker version of the terracotta without getting too wonky with the color. So kind of turning it into a brown. That's okay. Right, I'm not worried about it. If I really need to get dark, I can get the blue back in. There we go. So I've got a nice light peachy color. I got a terracotta medium and then this darker brown terracotta. So I think I've got my colors mixed. Let me see what I can do here. I think also I'm going to mix some of the yellow ochre as well and get some of this other yellow out and make it more harmonious here. So that is my plan as well. So I've got a plan. We'll see when I execute it if it works. That's the other thing. Does it work? We will find out together. So yes. Hi, Lynn Wilson Art. Welcome to the chat. Glad to see you. Where have you been? I know you were I saw you a lot on True Social at one point in time, but the background is sucking the life from the foreground. Yeah, I agree. That's why I felt it was wrong. There's something about it that was bothering me, so I'm going to try to make this more better. More better. All right. And I do need to get my galkid. Aha! My dried galkid needs to come out. And and put some new galkid in. Galkid is a fast drying medium. And I'm hoping this will undo. Trying to open this up. Aha! I gotched it. It's going to have to call in the husband unit, but I got it. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention in my news and events that I did finish my butterfly. If you're on social media, then you probably saw my post about it, but I did work on this last night, and I've considered it done. I'm got scans going in. I'm going to get prints made up as well as the original matted and framed shortly. So that'll go up on my website soon. I'm also working on that Zentangle. And so we will see what happens with that. All right, let's open up my stuff here. And let's get cracking. Mo better, yes. Well, I am sorry to hear, Lynn, that you were having some bad times, and I'm glad to hear that you are coming back. That's awesome. If you're still on True Social, the group I'm in is called the Arts Collective. So feel free to look it up, called the Arts Collective. And come on in. It's by approval only, so we can keep bots and trolls out. So yeah. It's a small group right now because it's fairly new, but it is definitely quality people. So you're welcome to join. Welcome to join. Just got to send in your request to join, and one of the admins will review and get you approved. So yeah, gonna get this background looking different. I'm gonna get this looking different. This is my grandson, after all. Got to be a good painting. And the thing with oil paints is that you can paint over it. So, yeah, baby. All right. Get some of that going. I'm going to get some of the straight up yellow ochre going as well. You guys see me working there? Might not be able to. There we go. Yeah. So yeah, I got that. I got the Zentangle going on. I'm going to, I know last week I worked on the Zentangle, and the suggestion from author Lisa Stevenson was that the last E that I had in collective should be like a shadow puppet of a snake head, which is in the form of a lowercase E. And I thought, I don't know what she's talking about, but then Ron showed me, and I'm like, that might be a good idea. So I'm going to give that a shot. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do remember you saying that you were colorblind or are colorblind, Lynn. I remember that. Um, and wow, so, and now you can't see red. Interesting. And thank you for the compliment. I'm trying real hard to make something of myself. Not sure how I'm doing, but I'm going to keep at it. So if you're wondering what the Bible verses say, I have one here from Matthew 18:10 that says, "Take heed that you do not despise one of these little ones, for I say to you that in heaven their angels always see the face of my Father who is in heaven." And then this one is James 1:17 that says, "Every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of heavenly lights, who does not change like shifting shadows." Because yes, of course, a grandchild is a blessing. Amen. Amen. And then I got Luke 18:16 here that says, hold on, I'm trying to paint and talk at the same time, and it's not working. But Jesus called the children to him and said, "Let the children come to me and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of God belongs to such as these." I'm trying to make sure that the references don't get covered up. And then I have down here, Proverbs 17:6 says, "Grandchildren are the crown of the aged, and the glory of children is their fathers." And then over here is Matthew 18:3, which is, "And he said, truly I tell you, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven." So some words of wisdom, some blessings when it comes to children. So I think I'm going to go ahead and bring this over to his head and kind of blend that edge a little bit. Thank you. I really love the child too. That's my grandson. All right. And so what I'm going to do is, I already like this better. I'm going to walk away from that for now. I'm going to come back down here to the bottom here. I may have to shift this up a little bit. Hold on a second so you guys can see better. Hold on. So this is I think a 24-inch square canvas that I'm working on. I'm going to lift this easel up a little bit so the bottom of the canvas can be seen a little better. Ow. Okay. All right. Because he's sitting on grass, but I don't want to introduce green at this point. See here. I can back this out a little bit. There we go. Now you can see a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is, to get him so he's not floating, I'm going to bring in some of this dark terracotta burnt umber color down here, and then intersperse it with some of the dark blues. to get him seated without having to paint green for grass. So I can keep the color story the same. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do here. So this may not be dark enough, and I'll find out here momentarily. Yeah. Because he's actually, that foot's a little big, I think. So I need to bring that foot smaller. So I'll have to get some blues on my palette here shortly. Well, I hear you on that, Lynn. I am trying to keep a color story, but at the same time, I think I'm going to attempt to first deal with the areas that are not developed and see what that does. And then if that still doesn't resolve my issues with it, then I'll probably continue to work in the background on this and get this, because obviously he's the focus. And then the Bible verses would probably be another focus, but you'd have to be up close to see that. So yeah, I'm going to see how dealing with the bottom here of the canvas is going to work first, and then go from there. Let's see here. Got some dark areas here. It's really in the sunlight though, so I can't do too dark. But yeah. Over here is dark. Yeah. And if you haven't been here in my live stream before, and you don't know, I'm going to be a grandma again come September to a second grandson. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. My hope is I get up back to New England so I can meet my second grandbaby. That's my hope anyway. There's some dark shadows over here with his hand and behind his hand. And then there's shadowing on this side. So yeah, I'm trying to kind of get a harmonious color of the terracotta going in this. I gotta remember that if I need to change up my brush. I tend to work in the same size for everything, trying to adjust how I touch the brush to the canvas. And it's like, no, I might have to change the size brush I'm working on. The side of this foot is really actually in the light, so I got to get it lightened up a little bit. So I will get that lightened up, especially the flat part of his foot here coming in too dark. So, how is everyone doing? I know that there is a tropical storm off the coast of Texas heading through Louisiana and heading our way, from what I understand. So, yeah, that's coming tomorrow for our area, from what I understand. Yes, Lynn, this is oil. I think I started trying to think if I started with acrylic as the abstract background and then came in with oil. But yeah, my grandson is painted in oil, and I've got Blue Ridge oil paints and Master's Touch oil paints. So all right. Let's see. I think what I'll do, I need to keep him seated. I gotta get him seated good. This is really dark, but this isn't as dark. Right here. Okay, and then over here, nope, not that. Let's see. When I squint at the reference photo, the leg and the background have the same tonal value, but it's not the same thing. So I'm trying to figure out how to resolve that issue. Because I got the blue and dark shadowy areas coming here. And then I got the terracotta in his face and his hands, so I'm trying to integrate that as well. I think I need to bring in some of the dark blue anyway, even if it's abstracted, to bring his foot forward. Because even though it's the same tonal value in the reference photo, I don't have to keep it that way to make him pop forward. Oh. And then over here, definitely dark. Definitely dark. Getting liquid on my hands. I'm going to change my brush. Slightly smaller. I'm going to have to get more titanium white out on my palette. Yep. Titanium white. Where is it? There it is. Alabama is wet. Yeah. So you're in Alabama. Normally Art of Zen joins us on Wednesday nights, but I don't see that he's joined us tonight. But that doesn't surprise me, because I believe he is somewhere in Texas currently being affected by Tropical Storm Arthur, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. And then of course, Ron and I are in North Georgia. And so, yeah, I usually have a couple of people from New England that join in as well. So yeah, I get some viewers from all over the place. So yeah, I'm excited about going up to hopefully go up and see my second grandson when he's born. It would be really nice. And if I can't, then I can't. We'll see what's in the cards. So yeah, I might have to wait and come back in with more white when this is a little drier because this is blending too much. Let's see here. And then I've got fingers over here. Fingers. All right. His toes are really kind of hidden over here, so I need to. So yeah. Have you done any artwork lately, Lynn? I haven't seen any. Again, I haven't seen you. So, don't know what's happening in your neck of the woods. So you gotta kind of bring us up to speed. What's happening over there in Alabama? Alabama. Oops. Yeah, the beauty of oils that once they dry, you can, if you think you did something wrong, you can always paint over it. Done that before. Probably too many times for me to count. Oh yeah, fun times. Yeah, this is all supposed to be bright, and so I keep, because it's in the sunlight of the reference photo, but I'm not really rendering the background because it's relatively uninteresting background. Now, of course, I mean, even if it was interesting, my grandson steals the show. So, I mean, come on, right? So I can give myself some latitude and kind of really get this portrait based, like weighted down with the dark. I I feel like I can. Let's see here. That is my bigger brush. Wow. I am so sorry to hear that. No wonder you were gone for a while. Um, I'm glad to hear you're okay ultimately, even if you've got the handicap as a result. I gotta remember I've got this gal kit I need to utilize. But yeah, I'm sorry about that, bud. I'm doing some scumbling, which is where you take the brush and you scrape it against the canvas on its broadside. Kind of makes this scumbly sound. Uh, so yeah, I had for those of you that don't follow me on social media, we probably then don't know that I actually had my nephew visit this past weekend. He stayed with us 2 nights, and he and I worked on a collaborative collage piece ourselves. We're not done with it, so I'm going to have to arrange to have him come over again in the near future so we can finish it. But he's very impressive with his creativity. So I like to brag on him a little bit as well, as he is. He's an amazing kid, and we love him. We love him. All right. Like I said, I'm struggling right now to just go dark. But you know what? Nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? And yeah, I'm using my fingers to lift some of this paint off that got on the arm. That arm kind of pops forward, doesn't it? Yeah, yeah, he is. Yep. Love the kiddo. All right, let's see about doing some. I'm using some of this lighter peach color, trying to get some nuanced tonal values. This is very bright, so gotta watch what I'm doing here. That's there. And I'm trying real hard to paint the shadow shapes and the highlight shapes more than I am like outlining the edge of the thumb or the fingers. Kind of what I'm trying to do is looking at the shapes of the values more than I am anything else. And then if I have to, I'll bring a smaller brush in to pull out the smaller areas. Let's see here. There we go. Let's see here. Try not to ruin this. And there's not really anything to worry about in terms of ruining it. If I do something and it doesn't look right, then I can definitely paint over it. So I'm trying to remind myself not to panic. Oh, I'll have to look at that. Put that, Lynn, put that link in the actual comments and not the chat, if you don't mind, so that when I'm done with the live stream, I can go check it out. So yeah. Let's see here. I don't want that. All right. Let's see here. Gonna get some of this figured out. Now his toe, his big old toe, is right here. His toe, right there. And then another, like I said, I'm trying to catch the light shapes and the value shapes on this, so that I do need a smaller brush. Okay, smaller brush time. Top here is brightest with this big old toe. And if you've not been with me before on my live streams, I tend to take my palette cam and get in closer with it every now and then so you can see what this looks like. So I will do that here in the very near future. And now you've got his little toes. The white's not really coming out here. And I think what I need to do is probably come in with the dark liner brush and line line between the toes where the shadows are. You can see I'm holding the brush like this instead of like a pencil. Now, when I'm looking at the photo, I realize that his toes are actually more up, and the tops of his toes are actually more like a line. Straight up and down, they're in line instead of arcing like this. So I actually have these a little off. So I'm going to get these painted down a little bit. And then I will paint over the edges, the background, and bring that in. So yeah, I definitely need to fix that. Oh, got a big old toesies. And yes, I do say those things. I'm a grandma now. I'm a grandma. Can you guys see what I'm doing? Okay, you can. All right. So yeah. I started off in watercolor too, Lynn, and I still do it. Let me wipe my hands. But as you can see, I did this. There it is. I did this watercolor just recently. I finished it last night. There we go. And so I'm excited for that. So I do that. I do acrylics. I do collage. I kind of do it all. And that's what makes it difficult for me. when I want to try to do events, because events want you to be like focused on one thing, or if you do multiple things, you have to have a body of work for every medium, and I don't, unfortunately. I don't have a body of work for every medium. So I have to build it up, and because I do this part-time, it takes time. It takes time. Let's see here. Now the side of his toe has some shadow. Oh, and all right. So I've got him seated now. I'm gonna have to. I'm struggling. Part of me wants to get bright with the red, like a more chromatic red than the earthy red. But I don't know. Like, I like that red in his lips, but I'm not sure. Let me show palette cam here. All right. Let's see if I can do this without losing my connection here. All right. So I'm going to put palette cam on the palette cam here. So, all right. So let's get in a little close here. You can see the verse here and the verse there. And I really like how his face turned out. I really don't want to muck with it. I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. So everything else has got to get worked. Like, there's a quality of painting here that is not anywhere else. So maybe I need to work this. There's just too many colors maybe in the shirt or something. But you can see this is very wet right now, so it blends too much. But the foot, like I said, these toes are actually arcing. They should really be more face, straight down. Let me show you the reference photo I'm working from. Again, I didn't want to do a strictly representational painting of direct from the reference photo, but you can see that's my grandson, and of course, the background. I don't want the background to be the focus, but it's turning out that that's kind of what's happening. Even his face is really the focus because that comes forward, but everything else seems to be a little muddled. So, but yeah, you can see the Bible verses. So yeah, and so I'm getting him seated, but like I said, you see the foreground in the picture is really bright. So, I'm trying to get my nerve up to not worry about that. Oh, but anyway, there you go. So let me put my palette cam back up. Hopefully I don't disconnect by accident, because it's really my old mobile phone. There we go. So you see, I'll get there. I may end up having to paint this a couple of times probably, until I get it right. And that's okay. But his toes are really the darkest part here. And then maybe what I need to do, I don't want the whole bottom to be this muddy reddish muddy color. I don't want the whole bottom to be that way. I gotta figure out what I'm doing. All right, let's see here. I'm gonna work some more. I need to get a medium blue. So we're gonna get some blue. Then all I'm doing right now is this is French ultramarine. That's very light. When I look at that, I think I can always go darker. Let's see nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? Let's see what happens when I put this over here. Because this is too dark over here. And sometimes with these abstracted backgrounds, you can get away with letting edges fade into the background, and it's okay. Like this whole side, when I squint at that, it's almost the same value. And so it's hard to, because underneath here is his sleeve. And what I might do here is take a little bit of the blue and blend a little bit back in. But yeah. So he's blending in certain spots, which I think is okay. His foot is getting lost because I got to get his feet values correct. I do think that I come in, he's got quite a separation on the toe there between the big one because he's really flexing his foot there. What I'm doing right now is I am just using the brush to put edges right on the toes to get those toes back in their proper spot based on the reference photo. And then I'm going to paint out from there. Get some of this gal kit. I keep forgetting to use it. So I got a medium tone. Let me see if the medium tone kind of does what I need it to do. Bring that foot forward a little bit. Hey, Ray. How you doing? How goes the battle? Are you winning? I'm trying to deal with the bottom third of this canvas, if you can't tell, and I'm not sure if I'm happy with it. And that's okay, I guess. I'll get to it when it makes sense. Trying to get those toes figured out. As I don't want to bring in green. I really, really don't. So we will work with what I have and see what happens. And if I have to, then I will consider different colors. But I'm trying. Things are getting a little muddy. Well, he seems to be more grounded just with what I've done. Let's see here. Let's see. Well, trying to get rid of some of this wonky blue. And again, if I think it's making a mistake, I can always come back in with the darker blue again and see. Because this is me struggling. Welcome to my life. You know, a lot of artists on you know, YouTube and stuff, they've got it all figured out. I do not. So that's why I, you know, like, okay, you can join me to laugh at me or watch me struggle or whatever, because this is what it's all about. This is the struggle. So how's Florida, Ray? I know that last week it was raining, I think, for you. You guys got some sunny weather back? Let's see here. Now, if you guys have not listened, author Lisa Stevenson, who is in the chat, or was at least, I'm not sure if she stepped away or not, but she is an author. I've collaborated with her, and she's recently put out some shorts on her channels with her writings. So if you want to hear some of those, go to her channel. I think it's author Lisa Marie, if I'm not mistaken. And check it out. She got interviewed recently as an author. The full interview doesn't come out until I think next month, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Brush fires. Oh no, that's not good. So you need rain, is what you need. Well, just tell Texas to blow due east. Come on, Texas, blow that due east instead of coming up north. Okay. I do think I've got some delineation there. That's still good. His head is still in the right spot. I keep looking at my own screen to see how it's going. Let's see here. Let's get some bold. I've been avoiding going dark, dark. But I think, oops, that's a little too wet of a brush. Okay. Too wet. Alrighty then. Sometimes if you're not paying attention and you're too busy yapping like I am, you don't pay attention to how much is in your brush. And then you leak on the canvas. I know that sounds gross, but you know, it is what it is. So let's get this. Let's see here. Yeah, hold your tongue, crazy bear. If you know what's good for you. I love my husband. I really do. That's all I'm going to say. Yes, honey, I love you very much. You behave. I do think this looks better up here. So now I just gotta, I'm happier with that. Not sure if I'm completely satisfied, but I am happier with that. Let's see here. And then this has, okay. No, sorry I got quiet on y'all, but you know what happens. Let's see. Let's bring that straight across and bring this down. Let's see. So yeah, I that's even with his. Let's see. What I'm doing is I'm using some of the blue get up into this yellowy area, and then I'm going to come back in with the yellows with different tonal values. There I go with the scumbling again, called scumbling, where you take the broad side of the brush and you just scrape it across the canvas. All right, now let me get a different brush. Ugh. I'm going to bring in some yellow. Yellow? Am I bringing in yellow? Or am I bringing in a... That's actually my ground white that I'm applying right now. I don't want this to mix to green. But I don't want such a delineated line either. Let's see here, how does that look? I keep looking over at my computer screen that shows me the camcorder side of things. Let's see here. Now, I think we're supposed to get rain here in Northwest Georgia starting tomorrow into Friday. Pretty sure. Let's see here. There's a bright spot right here on that on the shirt because it's in the light. There we go. That's not bad. No. I think what's happening is I think I got some of this too dark. Nothing like using your finger every now and then just to blend or pick up. I have to say. Yep. All right. So I definitely feel like I got his foot a little better for sure. Let's see. Let me get a small brush. I got too many brushes in my solvent. And let's see. Let's get some of the French ultramarine blue. Right here is where it's really dark. Yeah, just touches. Sometimes you don't have to get like super detailed or think you have to get every nuanced line on some of this. Sometimes you just have to get the hint of it. Just the hint of it. Let's see. Just the hint here, and then here, crease of the thumb, really. And let's see here. This comes across. So the hands and the feet are actually shaping up. It's just taking a little time here. Like I said, you gotta paint the shadows and not the outline of each finger. You know, you gotta. Oh, cool. Oh, I'm sorry. I totally missed it. The YouTube. Hello, Megan. Hello, hello. How are you? Glad you can join. So cool. Like I said, I'm trying just to paint the shadow shapes. I'm trying to attempt to do this as me just painting the shapes of the shadows in between the fingers and let the fingers come forward on their own as a result. So yeah, that's the plan anyway. And then I got a shadow that comes down here. So sometimes to paint or render a difficult thing like hands and feet, just ask Ron and myself actually. And you have to struggle to do you know, to render them. They can be very very difficult and scary, as a matter of fact. So yeah, like I said, I'm gonna show in a minute um, the attempt I'm making here at rendering these digits and man, I have to say this is not easy. But like I say, if you stick to trying to render the shapes of shadows and the shapes of the highlights. Everything else seems to come into some kind of representation. Okay, now I'm trying to paint broadly with a very small brush, and that's not going to work. Let's see here. I'm so glad you stopped in, Megan. That's awesome. How you doing, sweetheart? So I've got 2 people from Florida watching now. That's coolness. Cool, cool, cool. All right. I definitely came in a little too much with that. So we're just going to wipe that down a little bit. I'll have to fix that later when it's a little drier. We're going to do palette cam again. Everyone ready for palette cam? Let's go to palette cam here. That way you can see it in full view. All right. So what will be interesting is when I compare this to the previous status picture to see how it looks. That'll tell me if, you know, it's an improvement or not. I was trying to keep an abstracted background, which I think I'm doing. I think it's a little bit more controlled than it was, but I don't think it's there yet. But you see the toes? See how they're now delineated? And that's simply because I was in the hand. It looks weird, but when you step back, you can see your eye fills it in, okay? Same with this one, which is what I was just working on. Now, if you want to know what it really looks like, I'll show you the reference photo again. So this is my grandson. And you see the hands and the toeses and the feetses, okay? And now you see my painting. And again, I'm not doing the background from the reference photo, I'm just doing an abstraction of it. So technically, I can do whatever I want on the bottom, but I need it to make sense. And that's kind of where I'm working towards. And I definitely want this shaded in the dark, you know, because I want to keep the big blocks of dark and light. In the abstracted background. But you can see, you know, the ground on the reference photo is much lighter than what I'm making it. But again, I can do what I want as long as it makes sense. And I'm not sure yet if it's there, but that is how it's going. I will do a before tonight's live stream and an after tonight's live stream picture on social media, so you can see what it looked like before in memory versus what it looks like now, or at the end of the, oh, I'm almost at the end of my live stream, because I always try to make sure I keep to my time of an hour and a half. So oh, just on the grind. Yeah. Megan, by the way, for those watching, is my niece. I am surrounded by family and loved by family, and I am blessed for real. So I think that's where I'm going to leave it for now. It's not done clearly, but I do think, let me go back to here. Okay, so I do think that it's shaping up, at least the hands and feet are. I think the bottom third is getting there, but it's not there. Let's see. Like I said, I like the yellow and blue color story, but it's still a little too busy. So I'm going to keep pushing that background back by taking some of that busyness out. I'm going to still keep the colors pure or mostly pure. I don't want them getting muddy. And I'll get there. And like I said, I'm pretty happy with his face. Let's see here. Let me, yeah, I'm pretty happy with his face. I'm not going to touch that. I think that it captures his essence. I think everything else needs to be fixed. I definitely think I need to clean up his shirt a little bit, get some of this brushwork. You know, some people say the brushwork makes the painting, and it does to some extent, but I think this looks more messy than deliberate. And so I need to work on that. I need to let some of this dry so that I can get some of those details in better. And I definitely need to finish the bottom half so he's seated for sure. I mean, he's definitely getting seated, but this is obviously unfinished. This is obviously unfinished. And like I said, the side of his leg here and the background, when I squint at the reference photo, and when I say squint, I mean that, you know, when you squint at a reference, you're doing that to kind of get tonal value when you're looking at it. And when I do that, the background behind the leg actually almost has the same tonal value. It's different colors, but same tonal value. So that's why there's not a huge delineation here. So I think the delineation needs to come down in the back corner here, or lower corner around the foot. That will make sense. And then around the hand, I've got the dark areas. I think this is successful. I want to leave that alone. This is better than what it was. And obviously this needs to be worked on. And then I think I need to do some cleaning up of the shirt. And then I think I could be happy with this. So he's almost there. I need to get him done before my other grandson makes his appearance in the world in September. But yeah, man, I'm pretty happy with that. Let me close out by sharing again that I did finish my butterfly watercolor. That is done. Be on the lookout for that going up on my website soon. 3 paintings, originals that were in my web store are now unavailable at the moment, so they're not showing visibly because they're at the Harris Arts Center in Calhoun, Georgia, from now through July 31st, and they're on exhibit, as well as Ron's painting of his cat, his abstracted cat. I forget the name. I forget the name of it. Ron put it in the thing. But yeah, so if you're in Calhoun, Georgia anytime, go by the exhibit and check it out. The artist reception for that is June 28th. If you are part of the Arts Collective art group on Truth Social, please remember that we are going to have a celebration of America's 250th in a live stream on July 1st. And it's going to celebrate the creativity, artwork, music, writing of the group members, as well as, historical photographs of group members' family that contributed to freedom, Americana. So it's going to be a celebration of America and our creative spirit, and that's going to be on July 1st, which is a Wednesday. I'll be hosting it because out of all the admins of the group, I'm the one that actually operates a live stream currently. And when someone else in the admin group gets their live stream going and wants to host it, there they go. When a house becomes a home, that's Ron's painting name. Let's see here. Yep. So yes, if you're in the group and you plan on participating in the live stream that celebrates the group membership's creativity as well as America's 250th, remember the deadline for that, I believe, is June 27th. and you send your submissions to Art of Zinn. Check out the posts at the top of the group page called the Arts Collective on Truth Social, if you're on Truth Social. And get your submissions in as soon as possible, if you can, to Art of Zinn so he can create the video that will be featured on July 1st on the live stream that I will host that night. Details forthcoming. I'll probably have something more specific next Wednesday about that. So I'm hopefully going to try to finish this painting between now and next Wednesday and maybe start on something new. I really want to get another painting or two going. And so I've got a lot of things in the pipeline that I got to get fleshed out. So we'll see what happens for next Wednesday. But barring anything that, happens, good, bad, or indifferent, I should be here next Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Please do all the algorithmic things on whatever platform you're watching from. Please like, please subscribe, please comment in the comment section, please share, do all the algorithmic things. I would appreciate it. It'd help maybe widen my audience, which would be really awesome. And then again, thanks for joining me. Check out my website, MidLifeArtist.com. My web store has my prints available that I have in stock, as well as a blog that will keep up to date as to what's happening next. And until then, have a good rest of your week, a good weekend, and see you next Wednesday. Have a good night, everybody.